What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by the one, the only B-Ballin. And this is again a match from the Dota 2 Raidcall. If you want to watch this matchup and any other, check out twitch.tv/OneMoreGameTV2 and youtube.com/myegnet. But I'll be doing a replay cast of game number 2. Again, another game 2 between Mouz and Dignitas. Now, spoiler alert. I was thinking of casting game 1, but I had a quick glance over it, and basically, Mouz played solidly, but they never ganked AUI 2000's Phantom Lancer, and AUI's Phantom Lancer just dominated, so I think we all sort of know how that game would have shaped up if we were to watch it. We'd just been like, oh, all this stuff is happening around the map, but AUI just gonna farm up, oh, AUI gonna carry the game, and that's actually what AUI did. So I didn't think that would be too interesting to cast. But hopefully game 2 will be a bit more action-packed. I honestly didn't look ahead or look at any spoilers before casting this. And yeah, hopefully it's entertaining. But Mouz does have the first pick, so Dignitas gonna get rid of that bad art. Meanwhile, Mouz gonna ban out the Keep the Light. One of Phantom Lancer's best friends, they're BFFs. But Phantom Lancer is a bit of a whore. He wants to get around, so he has a lot of BFFs. Most of all himself. As your BFF can actually be yourself. I know my BFF is myself as well. My right hand specifically. Anyway, Mouz gonna probably ban out. No, they're gonna ban out the Beastmaster. Interesting choice by Mouz. I don't honestly remember if there was a Beastmaster in game 1, but they are leaving a lot of strong heroes left in the pool, and Mouz gonna pick up the Nyx Assassin. Meanwhile, Dignitas, they could pick up Undying, who I think is quite frankly a bit overrated. But they're going to pick up the Bounty Hunter and the Gyrocopter, so maybe they're going to let Mouz pick up the Undying, but if they do that, they will have 2 melee supports in a Trillion, most likely. Meanwhile, Dignitas, I'm not too sure how they'll run the Gyrocopter. I know No Time to love running that support Gyrocopter, but other teams haven't really caught on. So we'll see if this is more of a semi-carry-oriented Gyrocopter. The fact that he's drafted so high up might be that Mouz wants to Gyrocopter themselves, but Dignitas didn't really want to ban it when they want to get rid of 2 other really strong heroes. Or maybe they just want to keep it versatile, keep it vague, so Mouz doesn't really know what to ban in the second phase. I think the second choice is a little bit more likely, because Gyrocopter, he can be played as a K or as a support, so Mouz will have a little bit more difficult of a time in terms of banning out heroes in the second round of the phase. And Dignitas is probably going to stash up their mid-soul with their next pickup, so Mouz really has a difficult time in banning out heroes. So, Bounty Hunter most likely going to be in offlane, and just a little bit of background information about this matchup. Between Dignitas and Mouz, I know I've been casting a lot of Dignitas games lately, but they have been playing a lot of matches. But Mouz actually just recently beat Dignitas in the Dotahut Invitational, sending them to the losers bracket. And Mouz, you know, I was a bit worried about them. Black said in a leaked conversation with Snaking that he might be switching to StarCraft 2 about a couple months ago. But in the last 10 matches, Mouz is 9-1. They are definitely not playing too shabby. Meanwhile, Dignitas 6-4, but they have been playing a lot of matches against really strong teams. So maybe it's a bit of match fatigue. I'm not too sure, but overall, I think they're probably top 2 American teams along with EG. And once Liquid starts shaping up a bit more, then I can put Liquid up there as well. But right now, I think Dignitas is definitely one of the strongest North American teams, if not the strongest. So Mouz is going to pick up the Lifesteal, probably for Black, because Lifesteal can't really be played any other way other than a hard carry. And Templar Assassin is going to be chosen by Mouz. Meanwhile, Dignitas, they do choose the mid-soul, so Mouz not going to be able to ban out the mid-souls in their second phase of the ban pool. And of course, Queen of Pain does decently against Templar Assassin. Keep in mind, Shadow Strike, the fact that it does do tick-ins a little bit slowly. Doesn't do the best job in terms of draining refraction charges, but still, Queen of Pain's superior range, the fact that she can escape, means that TA won't really have that great of a time. So Mouz going to start banning out supports, saying that, okay, you may play Gyro as a support, but you still need one more support to back up your hero in the trial lane. And even if Gyro is a carry, you're going to need 2 supports then, so we'll just start banning out supports, which makes a lot of sense. Mouz, on the other hand, out of the mid-soul, have 2 components of the trial lane, so we'll see if Dignitas start banning out off-lane heroes, whether it be something like a Lone Druid. Mouz already banned out the Beastmaster, Darkseer's already banned. Undying, Magnus, funnily enough, is making it all the way through the hero pool. I guess these 2 teams don't really place too high of a priority on Magnus. I'm not too sure why he didn't receive ban, but there we go. Dignitas does finally ban out the Magnetar. More of an off-lane choice rather than Magnus being a bit too strong. And I think Magnus craze is starting to fade out a little bit. But rest assured, I mean, if you saw the last game, RP is still probably the best spell in the game, especially in the late game. There's really nothing quite like a good RP. It pretty much means you win the team fight decisively. If you have a refresher, then you can pretty much win the next 2 team fights. Hey, RP. It's pretty legit. Man, I could be like an advertising executive, and my next soft drink will be called Reverse Polarity. I could put RP. Pretty legit. And, you know, I think it would be pretty catchy. So, we'll see if I can broadcast that out, get some sponsors invested, start my own company, then you might be seeing Reverse Polarity as your newest energy drink. Hey, I mean, it sort of fits. Meow Mouse is gonna try to bounce some other supports, probably, if I have to guess. Oh, they're gonna bounce the Wisps. I was gonna say Shadow Demon, but Wisp is really strong. And I guess Mouse doesn't really want to put Wisp in their own dual lane. Nick's one of those supports who does want to get experience, and of course Wisp does want to get experience as well. So having 2 experience-dependent supports, a little bit tricky, especially since Lifestealer pretty much just sits in lane sapping all the experience he can possibly get, because he does steal those lives, and meanwhile Mouse going to respect ban the Phantom Lancer after it destroyed them in game number 1, and Dignitas going to ban the Shadow Demon, saying that, alright, NA, Lifestealer Shadow Demon, pretty strong trialing that'll absolutely demolish Bounty Hunter, so we'll just get rid of him. But Dignitas also eliminating their own pool of supports, but I guess it was a calculated decision, knowing that Mouse does have first pick after the second ban phase is over. Other potential supports that could be picked up, Jakiro, although he's been fading out recently. Undying, funnily enough, has not been picked or banned just yet. I think if Undying were to be picked, it would probably be for Dignitas, considering that Mouse already has a melee support on their side in the form of NA. But yeah, that's just my thought process. Mouse could pick up the Undying themselves. Undying really strong in challenge situations, but I think Undying a little bit overrated. That might just be my personal opinion. Maybe I'm just going to say that, oh, you know, I want Undying to be sort of mid-tier again so that when I own with him I can feel a bit better about myself. But no, he is a very strong hero, but I think he might be slightly overrated as a trial support. Only good versus trialing. But then again, I'm not very good at this game, and I don't really talk to many competitive players to see why they place such high priority on Undying, and he does have very strong statistics, and Decay does win tri-lanes against tri-lane matches, so there are all really good reasons why Undying is very powerful. But Dignitas going to bat the Disruptor. I guess Kinetic Field with Impale and Lifesteal right click could be a bit annoying and glimpsing somebody back, but Mouse going to choose the Rubik. Rubik making it very far, pretty unusual bans in this game. Beastmaster, Phantom Lancer, Bane. All we're seeing the Ban Hammer, leaving a lot of potentially strong heroes left in the pool, and Mouse going to take the Rubik. And if Rubik steals Track, if it steals Sonic Wave, if it even steals like Rocket Barrage in the early game, it could be a nightmare for Dignitas to deal with. As mostly he wants to steal Track and Sonic Wave at this point, but does effectively limit some of Dignitas' options. For example, Dignitas might be a bit hesitant to choose a Tidehunter or an Enigma or something else with a giant AoE ultimate. Maybe in a puck, Dreamcall could be pretty powerful, but Dignitas is going to choose the Undying, help solidify their tri-lane. And still, they have yet to say, alright, is Gyrocopter going to be support? Is it going to be hard carry? Who knows at this point. The problem with Gyrocopter is that he doesn't really fare that well in the mid-game, especially against Lifestealer and TA. I mean, he does well against TA because he drains Refraction really fast, but Lifestealer can just rage in and really just mitigate a lot of Gyrocopter's damage, especially with the phase boots that really helps Lifestealer overcome the move speed deficit. And Lifestealer does have pretty solid base movement speed himself. So, yeah, and meanwhile, Bounty Hunter, don't honestly know how they're going to utilize him. Queen of Pain will probably have to gank a lot in order to really make Bounty Hunter truly effective. Bounty Hunter does want a ganking buddy, whether it be NA, Wisp, something like that. That might be why Mouse decided to ban out the Wisp. But right now, only Queen of Pain can really gank very effectively with Bounty Hunter because Gyrocopter and Undying, very immobile heroes. I mean, ganking outside of the lane. I guess if Dignitas did Trial versus Trial and Bounty Hunter got a quick level 6, then Bounty Hunter could make all the difference and just win the game right off the bat. But still, he does want another support in terms of just dual roaming it up. Meow Mouse gonna choose the Tidehunter, so gonna be an offlane Tidehunter. Interesting. And Sven is gonna be chosen by Dignitas, and Tides is gonna be playing it, so it is gonna be a support Sven, so Gyrocopter is going to be handled by AUI. Interesting. Eternal Envy, what have you done? Luminous probably hates you now that you brought Sven back as a support, but Sven, pretty capable. You can't really ignore him as you can with other supports in the mid-game. And his only real big factor is that he's a melee, which doesn't really matter in a tri-lane versus a solo situation, and that his mana pool is very low. But as long as he stocks up on clarities, which you see Tide's doing already, then he should be pretty capable as a roamer. And hey, what other supports can give you plus 16 armor in a team fight? Not too many, other than, I guess, Dazzle. Anyway, we'll introduce the players and teams. Keep in mind, Mouz does have to win this game in order to continue the series. Dignitas only have to win this game, and then they take the series. And I think if Dignitas do take this series, they might be 3-0 or 3-1. I can't honestly remember if Dignitas played Empire in the Raidcall Dota 2 League. All I know is if they played them in the defense, and they lost. I don't know. My memory is shaky with all these casts going through one at a time. My brain can't handle all this information. Need some brain buffs. Ice Rock, please. But on the side of Mouz, we're going to have Kuroki playing the Rubik, Feta is going to be playing the TA, Black is going to be playing the Leicester, Alex is playing the Nyx, and Pass is going to be playing the Talent Mule. On the side of Dignitas, going to have Tides of Time playing the Sven, Fogged is going to be playing his signature Queen of Pain, AY is going to be playing the Gyrocopter, Way2 is playing the Bounty Hunter, and Universe is playing the Undying. So once again, Way2 does usually play Bounty Hunter a bit more than Universe, but sometimes Way2 and Universe do swap roles. And Undying gonna mean that Dignitas does want to attempt an aggressive try, but you can already see, no, Black is actually going to the bottom. Lifestealer, doesn't really want to waste rages. He doesn't really have the best mana pool, especially without somebody like Cupid the Light on his side. So Decay will be reasonably effective against Lifestealer. Lifestealer, even without or with Rage on, isn't really the tankiest of heroes. Rage is really just what makes him a solid tank. So we'll see. Looks like they might be sacrificing Black to the Wolves, or he might jungle. He does have magic sticks, which indicates that he will be going to the lane. But the question is, Mouz, I think they anticipate that Dirge is going to be in the tri lane, and they're just going to have Black rotated around. So that's some of the problem with Dirge. You can just sort of maneuver yourselves, just because you know what Dignitas want to do. Sort of like a Visage. When you see a Visage or a Dirge on the other side of the map, and by Dirge I mean Undying, you already know that they want to do an aggressive tri lane, so you can maneuver accordingly. And Pass will have a pretty easier time because creeps will be under his tower and he could do some pulls. So I think Mouz overall might have a slight laning advantage. On the flip side, Way2 gonna be able to get a lot of experience as well under his tower, can do some pulls if he needs to. But the tri-lane that Mouz has with the telekinesis and with the impale means that Way2 gonna be a lot more careful. Meanwhile, Tidehunter does have a Kraken Shell to work with. But Way2 just going to position himself and run the heck out of there. So overall, I think the side lanes are in favor of Mouz just by a little bit. The real matchup that we're going to have to focus on is Fogged versus Feta. And again, Queen of Pain does have a bit of advantage with the range advantage with Shadow Strike doing damage over time, which can eat through the refraction charges. Not the fastest pace, but still very annoying for TA to deal with. And because she has additional mobility with the Blink, can easily access the runes. But the question is, will Fog decide to early roam? That is the real question, as it's going to be telekinesis on Way2. Sentry Ward has been dropped. Are they going to change stuns properly? They're waiting for the duration of the slow to reach very, very long, as Way2 is going to probably take the fall. Another Sentry Ward is going to be dropped, and Way2 is going to die, unfortunately, for Way2, unable to maneuver himself, but did force out the second Sentry Ward. So now if he positions himself, I guess over here, he will be a bit more safe and get experience rather than here. But still, a little bit troubling, and these Sentry Wards going to give way to a lot of problems, but at the very least that will allow creep pulls to go on, since nothing is going to be blocking this dire camp, as the Wolves going to deny pretty much a whole creep wave. The Wolves with the critical strike just do a number against those creeps, but that is going to leave Way2 exposed, but no Sentry Wards means that Way2 should be just fine in terms of picking up some experience and even maybe getting some last hits. But again, I think the Undying thing already sort of, has been ineffective because he's forced to roam back top. He's not going to get much experience in terms of pulling because you want Bounty Hunter to get track ASAP, and he's not going to have decay spam to really sort of do that good of a job. I mean, you can decay spam against a tri-lane, but still, Way2 won't really want to go too aggressively and try to pick up a kill. And the dual support's going to roam away, not revealing themselves, so right now, the Dire don't really know where the supports are, but there is going to be rotation middle. Here comes Tides of Time, as I think he was trying to wait for all the refraction charges to be used because A pretty solid nuke even at level 100 damage. Definitely not something you want to waste against a refraction. And at this point, Fog's damage pretty powerful, but they really want to have all the damage as much damage as possible against Feda. But you can see Fogged is out-leveling Feda because of that natural advantage that Queen of Pain has with the range. Meanwhile, Pass already level 4, Wave 2, level 3. The offlane heroes I feel like will make the biggest difference in this game. And of the mid lane heroes. My favorite players are always offlane players because I always feel like they sort of get the bum end of the stick and they're always expected to contribute a lot in terms of the game. So that's why a lot of my favorite players have been offlane heroes, whether it be ROTK, Lacoste, etc. But in this game, both offlane players, they're not really offlane, they're sort of safe lane. Both hard lane heroes, because they're facing against tri-lane, or not really anymore in Mouse's case, as it's going to be a rotation around. But the Dire Observer Ward, I don't know if it actually spots it, considering how Dignitas' AUI is playing. I don't think that Observer Ward does spot it, because it's just designed to block the creeps. Actually, I'm not too sure what this ward actually does. Does it block the creep? It doesn't see anything. I'm guessing it does block the creep, and that the creep spawned a while ago. And looks like it might have, because the creeps didn't stack, although I don't think it could have been stacked. I'm not too sure what that ward does. Meanwhile, Black having a little bit more trouble now that the supports are gone, but again, Undying can't really kill him with the help of Bounty Hunter. Can apply a lot of pressure, but can't really kill the Lifestealer. Now he's level 4, and has 2 points into that rage. Meanwhile, AUI going to rotate around. 23 and 14 already having a magnificent time on that bottom lane, but is going to get engaged upon. Telekinesis Impale. Spiked Carapace gonna stun him as well. Gush gonna fly in. Unfortunately, the Anchor Smash does whiff, and Gyrocopter, again, 365 move speed with the boots, able to scurry on out of there. Tides is gonna reinforce, as again, Rocket Barrage is off cooldown. That's what makes Gyrocopter so popular these days, but unfortunately, Tides can't do too much. Does have the Magic Stick, which could help fuel his mana, but will most likely just pop his Clarity. As these two support Sportsman and support Undying, both melee supports, and really not working out for Dignitas just yet. But they are quite tanky and do provide a pretty solid mid-game relevance if they can manage to get the levels. I mean, you never really want to ignore either Undying or Sven in a team fight. And considering AUI is on top of the farm chart, not all is lost for Dignitas. But Paz is going to hit level 6 rather soon. Way too, I imagine, very close to level 6 as well. Again, the question is, what will they do with this Bounty Hunter level 6, as Black going to get a bit of harassment thrown down on him. Undying is level 3, Black forced to keep, again, not really going to use all the rage that he possibly can. Wants to save that rage, otherwise Undying can just sort of wait out, because Decay has such a short cooldown. And they're just going to apply a bit of pressure to Black, again, driving him away. Soul Rip doing a number to Black, does have that Magic Stick that he can potentially use to get back into the lane, but just probably going to wait off the Undying Decay stack to get himself a bit more strength. Meanwhile, a fight for the root ensues, and Tides takes it without even a scuffle. AUI farming up, has phase boots, so it'll be pretty hard to kill him, but again, once the chain stuns get a high enough level, no matter what movement speed you have, you will just get chain stunned to death, most likely. And Fogged very low in terms of HP. Tides does have an invisibility rune, but there's going to be Kuroki swinging back around as Tides is going to be driven away. Realizes that Fogged can't really do anything with this level of HP, and actually Feda doing a much better job than I would have expected against Fogged. Probably because he's been getting the runes, and Fogged has been ball crowing it up. But Fogged should be just fine. Just going to use one bottle charge, get himself back to almost full HP and full mana. Meanwhile, the Mouse dual support's gonna roam up top with 1-0. Again, not very exciting at this point. As you can see, way too super scared. The wards have timed out on this side of the map, and he doesn't really know where the supports are. Might just risk his life right here. Kuroki does have some sentry wards there, so they do have the capability to kill off Way 2, but Way 2 gonna hide himself and try to avoid that situation altogether. You know, AUI just going to happily farm away in his own little world. And again, you never really want to give a player on the caliber of AUI too much time to farm up. Mouse made that mistake in game number 1, and they just got dominated for it. Again, Phantom Lancer can carry much earlier than Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter just is overall a better early game hero, but in terms of physical DPS, can't really carry until maybe the 35-minute mark. But Phantom Hearts can start carrying even around the 20-minute mark with Diffusal and maybe a Vit Booster or something like that. But still, if you let AUI get free farm, he will just destroy your team. As again, the runes are going to be camped once again. Double damage going to be left for the Queen of Pain for Fogged. As the trap not in position to scout out. Radiant do not have any wards up, as they're going to play this essentially blind for a bit. But it looks like they don't feel like they're under too much pressure. The Glyph has been forced to Universe again, rotating around to the bottom lane, put 2 points into Tombstone. I like this. You want to get as high a level of Tombstone and really want the duration for the early game, as it's just super good. But the tower is going to get defended, and by defend I mean the Dignitas player is going to feel a bit of mercy for the tower, as Fox is going to initiate onto Alex. Spike Carapace is going to be used. Mana Burn going to fly in very soon for Alex. No, Alex should be able to escape, does have the boots of speed, and again, nothing happens. Exciting game so far. 1-0, 9 minutes in the game. Western Dota. As I think we're starting to see sort of the downfalls of the 2 bans 3 pick system in the early game, rather than the 3 bans 3 picks. As you sort of see sort of the same top 2 heroes, which can help make the lanes a bit stagnant. But I'm not too sure. It's still very early on in this sort of phase's lifetime. The 2 bans and then the 3 bans after the first pick phase. But we are starting to see a bit of repetition, at least in the Western scene. Maybe Western Dota should just try to experiment. But Fada gonna have his space boots and the bottle. And nothing's happening. Game is nice. As I thought for sure once Way2 hit level 6 he'd try to do something. But unfortunately, really not able to find an opening. The support's constantly staying near the lifestealer. And Fog doesn't really want to give TA too much free farm. Otherwise TA will start to snowball out of control as TA is going to guess the rune top. Will she be rewarded for her lucky guess? Either way, it's a no-lose situation because she's going to get a full bottle anyway. And the rune is on the bottom lane. It's going to be a haste rune, so that could provide a bit of action in this. As both the trap sees it and this dire ward. So haste rune for Fogged. Universe is level 5, does have 3 points into Tombstone as Tides has rotated to the top lane. No boots just yet for Tides. Black not going for Midas as is pretty standard on Black Lifestealer. Gonna go straight for Armlet, saying that, okay, you always farming, let's just try to end game ASAP. As there's gonna be a wraparound gang, Pos gonna take a bunch of damage, gonna take a call down right to the face. They use something with that haste rune, and now the Glyph is on cooldown. This tower will end up dying, as Pos did not use the Ravage smartly, but did ended up paying the price for staying on the bottom lane for a bit too long. So that's going to be a tower, but Way2 is going to get dived upon on the bottom lane. Again, the Sentry Ward is going to spot him out. They're going to have to pop another Sentry Ward. Nice positioning by Way2, getting himself out of range for the first Sentry Ward. And now this other Sentry Ward is going to end up paying the price. As I guess this is a dire Sentry Ward. But still, 1-for-1 exchange. Way2 died in exchange for the Tyranitar. But Tyranitar at level 6, he should be just fine. He has Ravage access. As I guess maybe the Radiant placed double wards. Or maybe that was a dire Sentry Ward spawning it out. As, oh no, that Sentry Ward does end up dying before the tower could end up falling. A bit unfortunate for Kuroki, but hey, it did its job. They got the tower. They got the kill. And what's happening with Fogger on the middle lane? Fada is going to get engaged upon. Here comes Way2 with the track as rotation going to come in, trying to pick off Fada. Fada does pop the refraction, but track kill going in the way of Dignitas means that Dignitas have tied up the kill score, and again, track gold giving Fogged a lot of gold, giving Way2 a bit of gold as well. And will this tower get pushed? They are fighting against Ravage, but Undying is level 6. Not yet putting his second or his 6th skill point to anything. Gonna put into that ultimate for some amplified damage, and maybe for even some tank and some slow. But looks like the middle tower not even gonna get contested, as I thought for sure with the Ravage they might have been able to fight, but Pasta is gonna get engaged upon, not gonna use the Ravage yet again, because he is by himself. Really don't want to use that Ravage, because that is 150 seconds where the enemy team can pretty much do what they want. That Ravage always in the back of the enemy team's mind. So smart moves by Pasta saving the Ravage, but still. It did cost them 2 kills in the tower. Not the lack of Ravage, but just the fact that Mouz unable to position themselves to really reinforce that tower. Either they should have just given it up and try to push a different lane. Bottom lane pretty pushed out, so it might have been difficult, or they should have just all teleported in and tried to reinforce, because the glyph was on cooldown, I think. Yep, it still is. But Black has finished the armlet. We'll see if Mouz can make anything happen from this, as AUI already has the Yasha up, so he's going to be very, very difficult to chase down. TA slows, the open wounds, the chain stuns, so definitely going to give AUI a bit of trouble, but as he is, he's very, very fast. He's got them turbo boosters on his rocket engines. And the question is, when will Mouz use the Ravage? As it's sort of also a psychological mechanism saying, alright, we don't really want to go for fights, we don't really want to seek fights out, because there's a Ravage in place. But I think Mouz is trying to wait for Kuroki's level 6, yet to pick up that level 6 just yet. Just checking out the early game hero levels, you can see. Sven, level 4, 14 minutes in the game. Oh my god, Tides, poor guy. Not going to be very relevant in this game, I imagine. Does have smoke in the boots, but still. Getting little to no experience as Way 2 might get initiated on. Keep in mind that Radiant Centaur is still up. Way 2 might just take the fall right here. Track is going to go on, but the Centaur times out at the worst possible time for Black. He did not use the Rage at the very least, so he can potentially dodge a stun, as there's going to be a mass exodus of Dire heroes to the top lane. Black gonna escape, knowing that the track is up. Interestingly enough, Black went for the treads rather than the phase boots that we've been seeing so often in Lifestealer. Probably fears the damage, and of course, with Undying stealing your strength, you want to have all the strength you can possibly get, so it makes sense in this game. But Fada, pretty close to his Blink Dagger. As Pa's gonna push out the bottom lane, maybe force the TP. He is gonna force the TP by Fogged. Fogged won't be able to kill Pas. He's just gonna teleport out. And will he teleport to the top lane? No, looks like they don't want to take a fight. The Dire do have Observer Wards up that can spot the movement of Kuroki. They know Kuroki is there, but the Rain do have an Observer Ward up themselves. They know that Universe and Tides are both there as well. So just a lot of mind games being played out throughout the game. Makes for a bit of a boring game in terms of kill count, but still, you can sort of understand where each team is coming from. As Mouz is going to have the Blink Dagger on Fada again, they still have the Ravage up. Are they waiting for the level 6 on NA? I mean, they should just give him a free lane to get some experience with, because, I mean, it's 15 minutes of the game, and 2 of the heroes on the map have yet to hit level 6. Pretty sad for these sports. As there's going to be a smoke attempt by Mouz trying to catch the Dire out of position, as there is going to be a slight clump of Universe and Tides. Tides might just end up paying the price. But no, Mouz unable to find anybody. They're going to find a wild AUI in the forest, going to get lifted up into the air. Smoke means a dead AUI, and keep in mind, Ravage is still up, so that's really going to play a huge factor. AUI call down really good when people are pushing into tower, but he's going to be dead for the next 40 seconds. Level 12 at this point means he's going to be a long time before he respawns, and that means Dignitas can pretty much not defend this tower at all. I doubt they'll even use a glyph. And Veda probably going to work his way towards a BKB. Nothing on the side of the Dire does go through that BKB, so Veda can pretty much go unchecked once he does pick up that BKB. But I wouldn't be too surprised if he picks up something like a Desolator either. Meal Pass. Probably going to go for a Blink Dagger when he can. And again, AUI is dead for quite a while. There's going to be rotation bottom lane. They want to get some map control because they might think that Dignitas might try a sneak Roshan attempt. Dignitas don't have anything like a medallion, and they don't have a TA for the -R, so it would take quite a while for them to kill the Roshan. But still, better safe than sorry, and that's all you're going to put on that trap. Always have protection. Everything in Dota does apply to life. For example, when a bear gets tossed at you while you're teleporting in, you're gonna fucking die. Life lessons being applied all over Dota. Meanwhile, Tide's gonna use the Stormhammer to initiate on. Are they really gonna try to take this with the Ravage? As Scream Pain's gonna go on to Kuroki, they're gonna isolate Kuroki. Ravage is gonna be popped. Fogged is gonna end up dying to the Vendetta and the Anchor Smash, as the Universe does have a pretty solid level Tombstone. It is level 4, so it's gonna last quite a bit, but they're just gonna farm the Scold for a little bit, as Tide did manage to deny Kuroki. Nicely done. His cooldown is gonna go on. Paz can get in position. He doesn't have the Ravage up, but Black is gonna go to town onto Tides. Tides, can he escape? No, Black is gonna get kited. Janad does go very well, but AUI does manage to kill off Alex, And looks like Dignitas managed to take this 2v1 against a Ravage. Didn't think they had it in them, but they are playing very, very well at this point, driving the enemy team all the way back. But Rubik's going to be back in about 2 seconds. Will that mean another dive? Paz is going to take a rocket right to the face, saying, I don't care about your rockets. As Tide's in a very compromising position. Way 2 is going to get slowed. Do they have detection? I think Way 2 is going to be unscathed, but no, Universe ends up dying. Can Way 2 escape? He will escape. As both teams trying to furiously contest his middle tower. Paz 90 seconds on the Ravage, so that is 90 seconds where Dignitas can pretty much do as they want. But AUI's like, screw that, team fights are scary, I just want to farm. And he is going to have the Manta style up very early on. Nothing like a Midas, but still, Bounty Hunter does manage to kill off Rubik. Fogged is going to get gushed right in the face. As Sonic Wave is going to fly in, Fogged is going to take a bunch of damage, but they did manage to kill Time Hunter. Black still in the midst of everything, picking up a lot of golden experience from these kills, but the track is going on to Fada. Where is AUI? Where is AUI? He's coming in. Can he get a rocket off? Black is tracked. As that sounds like an AC/DC song. Nice Stormhammer dodge. Really bending out all these stuns, but the rocket is going to stun him in. No, it does not. AUI does end up dying. I think it was carrying out that stun, but he is going to pay at the price as Tides is going to die as well. Black just ripping through the side of Dignitas like a hot knife through butter as the trap is going to be popped. Can Dignitas reinforce this as they are starting to be driven back? Any detection up to catch off Way 2 might not matter because Universe is going to die regardless. And Time Hunter will have his ultimate up relatively soon. So despite Dignitas taking the early advantage in that team fight, Black's endurance with the armlet, with the rages, constantly dodging, beautiful timing, dodging the Stormhammers, baiting it out, and then the rage duration long enough that the stun couldn't really, the stun by the Gyrocopter didn't even matter because it didn't stun him. And man, Dignitas underestimating Black. This is when Lifestealer is at his most powerful when he has armlet, and it's 15 minutes of the game when you have nothing like a Force Staff or a Ghost Scepter, or even a Mecha in some situations. As that is going to be a middle tier 1 tower for Dignitas. That's pretty huge. I'm sure they want to get the bottom tier 1 as well, but they're going to try to take this time. No, not going to go for Roshan, knowing it's a bit risky. Tide's going to place a ward. And now, time to check out the gold graph. It is going to be 1k slightly in favor of Mouz. Probably going to jump up a bit, but now experience advantage is taking a huge jump in favor of Mouz. And now they know Ravage is back online. We can push in again. You know, AUI trying to clear off some stacks. Looks like the Dire don't really want to reinforce this, as I think they know at this point Lifestealer is just too damn strong. They want to really avoid fights, especially when Mouz is all clumped up. They want to go for pickoffs with the Bounty Hunter, but this is where Bounty Hunter is at his weakest, when people are fighting 5v5, 20 minutes in the game, where he doesn't really have any items to sort of go in. He doesn't have anything like a BKB. That's Tides. Was he spied out? The trap is gonna not see him. Tides is gonna escape. But the top tower is gonna get defended. Not yet in deny range. Won't be in deny range. And Veda looks like he's saving up for the Desolator. He's gonna have that very, very soon. Desolator really gonna help break down the buildings. And of course do significant damage to all the tanky heroes on the side. Dignitas, whether it be Sven, even Gyrocopter at this point with the Manta style. And especially Undying. But still, Dignitas, a very, very capable team. As Paz is going to get isolated, he's spied out in the forest, and he is going to die. Ravage is going to be on cooldown for the next 40 seconds because that means Paz is dead. Can Paz buy out? I don't think he wants to. He really wants to save with the Blink Dagger, but they're going to initiate onto AUI. Gonna manage to split the open wounds, but he's still going to end up dying nonetheless. Tied into for a Gyrocopter. Mouse will take that any day of the week, as there's going to be a Stormhammer being dropped on Black. I don't know if Dignitas actually want to fight this, as they don't have AUI. But still, I think they really want to force engage as Ravage is up. Nice placement of the Tombstone by Universe, but Tides is going to end up dying nonetheless. And this is just going to be free gold and free experience for the side of the Ranged, since the Dire can't really reinforce this Tombstone. They're just going to say, alright, we'll farm these zombies for a bit. But no, ultimately, it's not really, you can't really have fun in zombie apocalypse. But Dignitas losing a bit of their steam. AUI unable to find too much room to farm up. And that's always very troubling for a hard carry at this point in the game, especially Gyrocopter, who again is very strong at the early stage and the late game. But his mid game is severely lacking. as he's just sort of a weird hero. Usually you get stronger in the mid game if you're a prototypical carry, but Gyrocopter pretty much gets weaker because Rocket Barrage doesn't do as much damage, especially as the HP pools of the heroes increase, as more burst damage is flying out. And keep in mind, Gyrocopter really needs to be up close and personal to make that Rocket Barrage maximize. Cooldown, not really very reliable unless the enemy team remains clumped up for a good while. And Flat can't really do too much with only a Manta style to his name. So this is sort of the reason why we're seeing a bit more support Gyrocopter, as there's going to be a blanket initiation by Fada, but the reinforcements by the dagger are going to drive the range off, and Paz gonna have his dagger up. This might give Mouse the extra boost that they need to try to take down the middle tier 2 tower and potentially take the Roshan. But the split push by Fogged and the dagger going to prevent Fada from joining that engagement just yet. Fada does have the Desolator, so that is again a huge damage burst and makes Undying relatively squishy. Only 900 HP, of course. Decay stacks just say lol to that. But Undying still relatively far away from his mecha. Meanwhile, Way 2 does have the Vlads, thinking mostly just for some push, give himself some lifesteal, and also just to amplify AY's damage. And AY just gonna go for a BKB. Nothing on the side of the rain does go through that BKB, so BKB probably gonna be the item in the game for both of these carries. And Leicester already has the innate advantage because he says, "Who needs BKB? I have Rage." And he already has a Basher and a Hyperstone. Man, Black is getting super farmed. And actually, you can probably finish the AC in about 200 gold. I mean, that might be the timing that Mouse is waiting for. They're waiting for the AC and the Desolator, because once those happen, the towers will absolutely melt to the minus 11 armor that the Desolator and the AC apply. And you can see Dignitas playing super scared at this point, and they don't really want to dual roam with Fogged and Way 2. Because it's pretty hard to kill Tidehunter, and even if you kill Tidehunter, okay, he's just a Tide. He'll get back in the fight. They'll just wait and then wait for the Ravage anyway. But still, pretty difficult for Dignitas at this point to really force an engagement. Again, the mind games of a Tidehunter on your team. And that's why it's just such a big sigh of relief every time Ravage is on cooldown, because it's just like, finally, we can play the game like we want to. This is why Tide is so successful in the LGD Instrat, where you just sort of get level 6 on Tide and just start charging, take towers, and just say, "What are you gonna do about it, huh?"
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But AUI trying to make his way towards BKB, about 1300 gold away, so it might take 3 or 4 minutes, probably 4 minutes, considering the pressure that Mouse is applying. As does Black have the AC, does have it, and again, that's the timing that Mouse is waiting for. And at this point, Mouse winning a team fight, they might even potentially take the Rax, because just how much minus armor is coming in, and the buildings just die super fast. But again, Dignitas is going to forestall the inevitable, just going to split push as hard as possible. Fogged does have a Hex, as I think Dignitas were waiting for Fada to reveal himself, because I don't know if they knew that Fogged has a Hex, but now they're going to reveal the Hex. Actually, I guess he's had Hex for quite a while. He has 1k gold on the bank. As it's going to be a rotation, but I think Dignitas know what Mouse is doing, as they are giving this tower pretty much uncontested, and Mouse just going to go for the Roshan. But in a game where there is no Darkseer, no Enigma, or no Magnus, Tidehunter does reign supreme. And that's going to mean a free Aegis. And the question is, will Mouse go back to farming the bottom lane, pushing that out, or will they just go all mid? I think they have the capacity to go all mid, and really there's not too much that the Dire can do. AY still gonna have that BKB up, but again, how much does it honestly really matter against an Aegis Leicester with Basher and AC against Desolator TA doing immense amounts of physical damage? And even if they get something like Ghost Scepters, Rubik, Tide, and they just say, alright, we'll just pick up the slack, guys. As the trap is going to be sprung, they're going to initiate onto Tide. It's going to take a meld right to the face. He does not like that whatsoever. Way 2 going to retreat. Meanwhile, Fogged picks off Kuroki by himself, but they're going to sacrifice Kuroki for Fogged. I think that is a trade that Mouse definitely wants, but they did use the Ravage. That means Ravage is going to be on cooldown for the next 2.5 minutes. And Dignitas, I think they could potentially try to defend this. They have AUI coming in with that flat cannon as Black gonna come in. Flat cannon doing a bit of damage, but again, only Meta style to his name. Meta split again, dispelling the open wounds, but Tides is gonna get slowed to the ground. Here comes the call down, but Black does not care. BKB's power trying to go on back onto Fada, but unfortunately they are unable to make too much happen in that, and Black just continually to not give any sorts of damn, just continuing to right click. Gonna dodge the stun yet again. But this might be what Dignitas needs to defend this, as Way2 is going to get initiated on. He is going to die. AUI in a lot of trouble. Black, keep in mind, still has the Aegis, as he's going to take a lot of damage. TA picks up a double kill, but AUI should be able to escape. And again, these long duration team fights definitely favor Mouz, because, I mean, every team fight where Raj is cooling down and you're still able to pick up some kills is pretty much a one team fight, as again, the Rage stun. He does not care. Maybe this is played on US or European, because Black just dodging every stun as time to picks up an easy kill. And AUI gonna be in a lot of trouble. AUI bursts in a giant explosion. Fog comes back in. Can Fog do anything? Gonna use the Aegis up on the TA, and they're gonna hex Black down. But Black, can he actually die? No, he does not die, as Pos manages to get the kill with the help of Kuroki. And I think Dignitas are starting to run out of steam. And now Tidehunter Ultimate will be back up very, very soon. Aegis has expired, so Mouz is going to play a bit more carefully. But they received so much gold, they got a lot of hero kills, and they got a tier 2 tower. And all they lost was a Rubik. Definitely one side engaged in favor of Mouz, as we just received the power of Lifesteal in the mid game, and started the ineptitude of Gyrocopter in the mid game as a hard carry. And I'm saying the ineptitude of the hero, not the ineptitude of AUI. We all know AUI, one of the smartest players in Dota. Although he does get Rod of Atos on Slar, so really, how much can we trust him? As Rubik tries to steal off track, and he stole it. Oh my god. That is going to be brutal. He's definitely going to hold on to that spell. And now the gold graph and experience graph. Look at that upswing. 4k a couple moments ago, then BAM! All the way up to maybe 14k when that finally peaks. The gold graph, just like whatever. And AUI is last hitting like a champ, but still. Gyrocopter just needs so much farm to carry as a hard carry. And is it time for the Rapier build? I mean, it's going to be very, very far away if he does decide to go for it, but I mean, it might be in the back of Dignitas' minds. And again, we just sort of see the weakness of Bounty Hunter in team fights. And, yeah. But, interesting enough, Tide is not going to go for a refresher, just building up a cloak, trying to pick up that pipe to really reduce some of the Sonic Wave and the cooldown damage. Any mecha up on the side of the range. They do have mecha up on Alex, as I think he just recently picked up, has 6 sentry wards to say, you cannot run, you cannot hide. We're just going to kill you. 6 sentry wards, just like, who needs a gem? As there's going to be a tower trade, but Mouz is going to force the issue, because guess what? They have Ravage. They have Black. And Black has buyback. They're just going to say, what are you going to do about it? Your tower has minus 11 armor. It's going to absolutely melt. And again, Tidehunter just charging up. Not afraid of anything. Can Dignitas actually fight this? We see AUI pushing on the top lane. Track is going to go off by Kuroki. Again, super annoying to deal with that. If Mouz picks up a lot of track kills in this game, it might be just all but over. As this tower, these racks are going to be forfeit without a fight. AUI at the very least did get a tower, but still, racks for a tower. Mouz will take that any day of the week, and they can pretty much rotate to the middle lane once they push out this wave. Actually, they might just cut off the creep wave because the tower is already hitting these creeps, so they will die very quickly. Because guess what? Mouz still has Ravage. BKB is finished up on Fada. Black finishes the Abyssal Blade. That means AUI going to be in a lot more trouble. Not like he was already not in trouble. You know, Fog trying to go for Shivas, but still very far away. And we see what an underleveled and Undying and Sven can do. Really not too much. I think the lanes ultimately... I mean, Dignitas fought well. I think Lifestealer just... They got Lifestealered. Not anything like the lanes, because Dignitas overall played the lanes pretty solidly, but still, having an underleveled Sven and underleveled Undying, not really the best hopes. And again, Gyrocopter, not really the best mid-game carry. But still, Dignitas have the capability for one last giant engagement. There's going to be initiation onto AUI, going to pop the BKB, but going to get Abyssal Blade. At least got the call down off, but might just end up dying right here. Not enough damage to burst him down, as BKB and call down already used. Keep in mind, call down very, very short cooldown for an ult at 50 seconds, but that's pretty much all the time Mouz needs to push in. And BKB, more importantly, is on cooldown. AUI just going all out saying screw buyback. If we lose this next team fight, we're already racks down. We're just going to try to get as much damage as possible. And Crystal is probably the best option, as it's going to be blinked by Fada with Black saying, surprise, bitches, I'm here. Raj, blink in, way too. Stun on the outskirts, cannot do anything except helplessly watch as all his team gets spikes all up in their grills. And Mouz going to take game 2. So we'll see what adjustments Dignitas can do in game 3. I think I'll try to bring you that game, because the series is now 1-1, and I'm a bit curious to see how the series does end. Even though there are a lot of games going on, I think I can try to bring you game 3. It's the least I can do. The least you can do is keep supporting me like you guys have been doing. But yeah, Mouz take it on the back of Lifestealer being insanely good. And personally, you know, I'm happy to see Mouz do well. Kuroki, now he's putting time back into Dota, sort of, you know, he was thought of as a fraud for a bit, but now he's really back practicing as much as possible. Black not getting too discouraged at Dota, it seems like. He still might be practicing Heart of the Storm, but still playing Dota at a very high level, as you can see. But again, gotta root for the USA, Dignitas. Hopefully they can turn on in game 3. With Mouz definitely gonna give them a run for their money. And that's gonna be the end of this commentary. So thanks for watching, and tune in for game 3. I think I will end up bringing you that game, as I can't wait to see what actually happens. So thanks for watching, and see you next time. Peace.